For some time, the concept of making content or a career out of holding people accountable has been a popular medium. This ranges from video essayists attempting to spread a message, to fabricated think pieces, to people trying to imitate To Catch a Predator. Except, in typical consumer fashion, it became a toxic cesspool where people use it to play hero, whether it be for attention, or for them to seek out their dreams of being the Punisher.
In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you. Why bother?
While intent can always be argued, the fact of the matter is content like this has taken on a new and concerning front, one that deviates entirely from its origins. People have strayed away from truly wanting to keep harmful people away from the public to a new way to make money and gain notoriety. And with their notoriety, I've seen instances of creators where they believe what they're doing is honest, real, and heroic. While the topic of heroism is morally good, it begs the question, how so? Meaning well and doing good can be entirely separate things despite thinking they're entwined, which is how I think we end up in these spaces. There is hardly ever a person to pick up expose content creation who thinks to themselves, I intend to do harm today. Instead, they think their content is entirely rooted in a just and righteous cause, so they feel no need to do their due diligence in research and proper handling. This is where we start to go wrong, coupled with the inevitability that some people will chase the highs of large view counts and thousands of followers per video about a taboo topic. Once you've entered the stage and set yourself up as a good-natured, reputable source for PDF takedowns and well-thought-out exposés, there comes the natural will to keep that image squeaky clean, as does a will to produce. On top of pre-existing negatives in these spheres, PDF hunting can lead to dog piles that can be life-ruining or traumatizing in both claim and impact. Like mentioned earlier, very rarely is there ever anyone who goes into situations thinking they're ill-prepared or the bad guy. However, in especially PDF spheres, there grows this air of entitlement and haughtiness. This idea that I'm better because I'm on the takedown, I'm on the highest horse. On top of this comes a mass issue with evidence going too far. PDF hunters asking victims to bait out their abusers or using anyone under the age of 18. While meaning well, they only cause more harm by directly putting the abused in a situation their abusers could spit on them. Abusers aren't stupid. They're fully capable of manipulation like any other person. Suddenly, any claim becomes one worth covering. You're making videos too often to really research the topic, and you're too scared to own that you've gotten something wrong because what if the community eats you alive for it? It's here the spiral starts, and it's here the spiral ends. So the creators that go searching for evidence of their own to try to go after somebody is one, or somebody making a call-out post publicly and then some YouTuber making a video about it is two, and someone gathering evidence from victims to make a think piece on someone is a third. So you've got antagonizing search teams, wannabe news reporters, and detectives as a third. Now, before I resume, bear with me that I'm not holding anyone who's made content like this on a stake. I'm speaking on the fine line of greed, aggression, and overarching toxicity. There's something called moral ethics that I'm going to be using to paint the exact line we're talking about here. First, the people that go and search for evidence of their own to go after somebody is the exact thing I mean when I say an antagonizing search team. Going for somebody with the exact purpose of trying to find something and take them down couldn't possibly be with good intentions, and it's basically just having your own ambition to make someone else look bad. You search around, pick up some evidence, or make your own, and attempt to take someone down. This is a scenario where there wasn't anything huge, you just personally don't like somebody, or you woke up one day going,
I think I'm gonna take someone down today. In the name of justice.
Second, you have people who see an open situation already and decide to make a video about it. This is not anywhere near as harmful as 1 or 3, as we can describe these kinds of creators as news reporters of such. That is, of course, if we do keep intentions in mind. This squad can be motivated by spreading a word or security, but it also does raise a big question of, why am I immediately jumping on my recorder to write about this open callout? Is making it into a visual form necessary? And why should I be the one to do so? All of these are valid questions, but if a creator truly did something wrong and the open public doesn't know about such yet, and of course it ends up being true, the news reporter may be necessary in this scenario. The third is people gathering evidence from victims to make a think piece. A think piece, truly, is the same as a personal essay or an opinionated expose, except there have been many instances where people will get information from victims of a supposed crime and turn it into content, as in, with permission or not, getting victims' stories and turning into a public think piece you can profit off of. Once again, morally questionable, and a big thing of, why? Now, when I mention these kinds of creators, I do know there are plenty of reputable sources that talk about real situations in an essay or documentary format that is well written, acquitted, and checked with every person involved. But there are also plenty of occasions where people present themselves as the first and third things I proposed, along with being expose essay YouTubers who are legitimate content farms. They pump out content at an often rate, every video being about someone who is accused or proven, with gameplay playing as they speak in a monotone voice, or use a text-to-speech and just describe the situation that happened. Baby girl, these are crimes you're speaking of, which are rather proven or not. These are people's lives, which also means real people involved. Why did you use ChatGPT and record mass gameplay to slap over this shit? Do you not have a conscience?
Yo, what's up guys? Today we're gonna be taking down yet another force of nature, someone who's been needing to be removed and deplatformed for a very long time, and I've been working very hard to find any evidence. Fuck.
When engaging with accusation and evidence, it's important to view everything through a neutral lens. Good faith and bad faith interpretations can severely alter allegations and the way in which they're viewed publicly. Whether people would like to admit it or not, audiences of content such as commentary and pedo hunting will often blindly trust the ones presenting the information, thus leaving it up to the creator to interpret it without bad faith. Why? Well, bad faith can lead to conclusions that can stretch miles away from the initial intent or truth. If your intent is to bring the truth forward, then you need to present the evidence as it comes. Commentary is fine, but to ascribe intent where you have no ability to is a slippery slope. Good faith doesn't necessarily mean giving full-fledged benefit of the doubt to the statements and evidence covered. Instead, good faith coverage looks more like taking in all possibilities, seeing all angles, and acknowledging multiple possibilities for actions and outcomes. Media, at least good media, covers news and stories with acknowledgement of multiple outcomes and a willingness to update information if they got it wrong. If you plan to cover harsh topics, you need to be ready to do the same. Doubling down on incorrect information and going into allegations with bad faith will do nothing but hurt your credibility in the long run, alongside, well, being harmful to the people you sought out to help. A disclaimer that this isn't legal advice, and I don't have a law degree, nor am I a lawyer. Alas. Content covering harsh and major accusations have a tendency to do two major things: not inform the police at all, or inform police after a public post has already been made, or engage in legally ambiguous to straight up illegal activity in the pursuit of self-indulgent justice. There's always spaces where PDFs and equally heinous individuals should be publicly outed in the name of safety. However, that shouldn't come at the expense of a case, or at least the attempt to make one. Even with police intervention being a stretch for most cases of internet-based predation, that doesn't mean that hope is lost and the internet should be your first go-to. In fact, there are too many ways going to the internet first can bite you in the behind, such as using a carriage service to menace, harass, or cause offense, or the NSFW offense of stalking or intimidation. The outcome of a legal case or report, even if not followed up on, still serves as evidence to the case you're making, and that's important. Having a case file, if nothing else, serves to prove you saw what was done as an immediate danger and actively attempted to have it intervened and stopped, and yet it's something that's glossed over so frequently. Mishandling cases and legalities can hurt the victims so severely, because if you butcher a doc or a post in attempts to expose a person, but do it in like a mishandled fashion, you've either just janked a case, hurt the victim's reputation for life, or, well, worse. Legalities are a no soft subject to tackle, and if we're talking in the case of a criminal offense, that's a legal sphere, so you need to be ready to play legal games. But cases aside, one of the first questions the internet often poses is, did you go to the police? Well, despite the fact that the internet does love to hate, even an entity as such still knows there is importance to at least trying, because they cannot do so much to keep anyone safe aside from make noise and alert other people in both the real world and the internet one. I know a lot of people can think of at least one example where an allegation was dropped and the first 5 minutes of comments are asking about police reports. Was this reported? Was this intended? Even if nothing happened and no intervention was had, a report can make or break what's been said and showcased. So please, report cases in crime to local law enforcement, and if you can't, have someone that can, or maybe let someone else take up your spot in the commentary/expose sphere, because at the end of the day, this stuff is volatile and requires a lot of skill and a lot of resources, all of which should be handled with grace. It's okay to go into a report thinking nothing will be done, because a paper trail is a paper trail regardless of how useful the police make themselves in the end. And who knows, maybe you'll strike lucky and get someone behind bars and they deserve it. All content covering allegations should be treated with care in both coverage and handling. From expose YouTubers to pedo hunters, it will always boil down to how well you did, what your intentions were, and how you handled the information placed into your lap. Well, in this world, we have the very popular genres of superheroes and superheroes who are technically vigilantes. When those two worlds collide, it's very important to tell the differences. Both sides have different motivations, wants, and ways they go about their act. Bear with me, but I find the topic of such oddly relevant with the people we've been discussing today. When they carry out acts in the name of social awareness and heroism, but their motivations aren't aligned exactly with what makes a hero. Being somebody who bases their career off of fabricating information to take people down, or exclusively reporting takedowns of situations, or sets up cameras to go beat the shit out of a PDF, it has convinced people that they're a savior with a platform, who wake up and decide, who will I enlist justice onto next? But when you wake up and think, who am I gonna go after today? Or, how will I convince somebody to fuck up this evening? That's not heroism. Nor is it caring for the safety or the goodwill of the people you preach so highly for. Do not look in the mirror and see Captain A because you're the Punisher. But instead of losing your family and seeking revenge and having a cool costume, you just have an unsanctioned view of morality and unethical motivations. Or the same sentence can go for this guy. These kinds of creators have referred to and seen themselves as heroes. You see, and this is where I'd like to clearly pace the line of what heroism is. In fiction, it's been implemented and spoken of in multiple different ways.
The measure of a person, of a hero, is how well they succeed at being who they are.
Good is not a thing you are, Kamala. It is a thing you do.
Lord knows, kids like Henry need a hero. Courageous, self-sacrificing people, setting examples for all of us. I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble.
These are all quotes related to heroism and honesty of man, the morality of the greater good and believing in such, fulfilling actions and believing things not for your own benefit, but for selflessness, truly doing it to help others and keep others safe. But with the precedents we've seen, these standards don't apply, but instead, it reminds me, as I've said before, of the Punisher.
A human being who did a lot of stupid shit, maybe even evil, but had one small piece of goodness in him. Maybe just a scrap, Frank, but something. And then you come along and that one tiny flicker of light gets snuffed out forever.
I think you're wrong.
Which part?
All of it. I think there's no good in the filth that I put down. That's what I think.
I think you're wrong. There is no chance of change. I think there's no good in the filth I put down. That's what I think. This is why I compared these people to the Punisher and the equity of a moral compass. If said acts are carried out of hatred, anger, and the purpose of enacting your own version of self-justice or benefit, it's not for the sake of hope and safety, but for you, in your belief. Heroism is a scale between good and evil, the blank and morally gray, and with the conversations of platform star power and physical aggression, it can all come together, especially since heroism is constantly brought up. If you're willing to format your own camera setup in the name of justice as you pursue someone, criminal or innocent, you're not this guy, and you relate to this.
Vengeance has consumed you.
And obviously, if you formatted that setup in the name of attention, money, or anything selfish, you aren't consumed by vengeance, but by greed. Once again, no hero in any light of the word. Because in real life, you legally can't go up to somebody and down them on the ground. But if you put up a camera and go lurk, or you're purposely looking for people who have done nothing wrong to paint them as villains, is undying in itself. I use the point of heroes because there are people who are willing to look out for the safety of others. There are others who spread a PSA to make sure there's an open door for audiences. They call authorities, they believe in rehabilitation and change, and they don't wake up and start their 9 a.m. fabricating shitty exposés or reporting on the new e-crime. These kinds of people just want to get off or get attention from serving justice, but it isn't justice. It's a diluted dream entangled with vengeance. Because 9 times out of 10, if you take care of somebody who has done wrong in a digital setting, or you find a criminal in real time and get them arrested, you don't get any attention out of it. So, I mean, how else will you paint yourself as a hero? Well, when it comes to the truth of being down to earth and resulting in yourself, the moral ethics are always a scale that is balanced naturally. Who you are and what you believe in can be told quite well with modesty in how you carry out your actions. If you truly care for people, or truly believe you want to make the world a better place, looking at these examples of people who think they're rookie Batman is a fantastic handbook of how to not. Heroism is selfless, honest, and admirable. There are true heroes, not the fictional ones, and they don't do it for reward. With this, it's always important to take into account what your intentions are and why you're doing it.
Hey guys, I just really think this person shouldn't have a platform.
As always, thinking about patrons, Mimi Diggs, Kitty Dog, Yosarian, and the best Fortnite player ever. See ya.
Yo, what's up, guys? We're back, and today we're gonna be exposing yet another fucking loser who thinks that they can do whatever they want and get away with it. So I'm gonna be showing you the truth about what's going on.